our next guest, Jim Kelly, the Hall of Fame quarterback, was there. Andre Reed, his teammate, going in. Jim taking part in the festivities, and Jim joining us now. How you feeling today, Jimmy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just finally got home and enjoying myself and just relaxing. Got two of my former teammates came over. As a matter of fact, they're out in the living room waiting for me. Steve Tasker and Don Beebe came over to say hello and their wives. So we're just visiting, reminiscing about this past weekend, and of course, talking about some good old times we had a few years back.
Favorite moment of the Hall of Fame weekend was what?
For me, even when I got my jacket, and I talked to Andre about this, is when he received his jacket, because that's when I personally, when I was inducted, that's when I knew I was a Hall of Famer, is when I put that jacket on. And just to see Andre and his family and see how the people reacted to when Andre got his jacket, that was a time that I know I never forgot about, and it was a time that I, really reflected back with Andre and the smile on his face and how it made him feel.
Knowing how tough you are and having been around you, you and your brothers, I just can't imagine you not being in good spirits. But going through cancer treatment, I was curious. Your lowest point. How did you feel when you just said, what this has done to me and how it makes me feel, the impact it has on my family?
Well, early on it was tough because, really wasn't sure what the outcome was going to be. And then, of course, when they told me that they got all the cancer, the relief that I had, knowing that, it's gone and everything will be fine. And then, of course, when it comes back, how it does scare you. And you really think, all the things you've been going through and all the surgeries I've had since, I retired from the game of football. But for me, what helped more than anything is, everybody talks about the toughness and everything. The biggest key, Dan, and the thing for me is the mental toughness, being able to go through all the treatments and to have all the loved ones beside me, all the prayers from all my friends and family that rallied behind me, not only back when the day when Hunter was, diagnosed and his passing and everything, and how they rallied around the Kelly family then, but when I was diagnosed, the prayers that came my way, the people that would come out of the woodwork that I never even knew that would be sending me well wishes, that's what I really needed. You do need that, because when you're sitting there not knowing what tomorrow holds, and you pray every single night and day that you will be around for many, many more days, but the acknowledgement and the well wishes and the people that really come to your side is what gets you through these days.
When did you know you were in trouble?
When the pain was uncontrollable in my head. I wasn't sure what it was. I went through 6 root canals on the left side of my jaw, not knowing why that was happening. And, of course, when we had to go get an MRI, a PET scan, a CAT scan, there's so many different scans we had to take just to find out what it was. And then they found out that the cancer has attached to the V2 nerve that runs from your trigeminal nerve by your ear that goes into your brain up through your upper jaw. And that's when I really knew something was wrong, because I could not handle the pain anymore. And I even told my brother Danny, I said, you know what? I've had pain before, but nothing like this. And you talk to people that have had migraines before and how painful that is. Now I know how they feel. And I knew something had to be, terribly wrong. And then, of course, that's when we had to go for the MRI and then the CAT scan to really determine deep down what was wrong. And then that's when they found the cancer has attached to that nervous vein in my face, and that's what's causing all the problems and the pain.
He's Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. What was the cancer as a result of?
We don't know. And it's interesting because of course, everybody sends their remedies, what will work, what happened here, how this will happen. And it all helps. But, sometimes it gets a little confusing because there's so many things other people said that helped them when they went through this. And for me, it's just really trying to focus on what's the whole situation, what's going on, what can I do to make this any better, or do I have to go through so many different surgeries? And for me, it was a big, and still is. And I will find out here in probably a couple more weeks when I travel to New York City to find out if anything came back or not, if any of the chemo or radiation has worked for me. So, of course, Dan, just like anybody, listen to what people have to say, and is there anything that's going to help me down the road? But we shall see.
You know, and just you start thinking about things you never thought of, like, am I going to be there to walk my daughters down the aisle? Like, I would imagine that you'd start to look at it differently.
Oh, you do, and that's, people talk about your bucket list, and I was wild because I was just talking to BB and Tasker about this, and their bucket list is a little different. And of course, when you're going through what I'm going through now, your bucket list adjusts, and you have to make those adjustments. But one of the ones I always wanted to do is make sure, like you said, Dan, is be able to walk my two daughters down the aisle. I mean, they're still too young yet. They're 19 and 14, so I'm not rushing them in there. But, but those are the things that you definitely look at, you think about. And even my crazy buddies, I have a hunting lodge, and I get probably 30, 40 guys that stay with me every hunting season down in upstate New York, and we have a blast. And they're all worried that if I die, my wife might not let me go back down there and hunt my property anymore. Like, well, babe, you got to live a lot many more years. We just got a lot more hunting to do. So their priorities are a little different than what mine was. But, of course, I want to do a lot more hunting, too, and got a lot more things on my plate to make a difference for a lot of people out there. But it's interesting how they can turn something serious into something really funny and puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, I think that you may need to sign a piece of paper and have it notarized, just so you can placate these guys, Jim, just so they know they have a hunting lodge to go to.
Yeah, it's interesting because after my second diagnosis, when they found the cancer came back, to be honest with you, I had to sit down with my brother Danny and really look at my will. I made my brother bring my will over, and we had to sit there and go through it and to make sure that everything was in place for if anything did happen to me, that my wife and my two daughters were taken care of, and some of the things that I love dearly, made sure that they were in the right hands. And you have to do that. I mean, I had it done to a certain point, but I really haven't looked at it in a while, and we really had to sit down and go through it. Those are things that we never want to do in our life, is really have to worry about your will and your family. And thank God I've always from the day I played the game, always made sure that I set up my family if anything ever did happen to me. And so that's all in place now, so I don't have to worry about it. All my hunting buddies are taken care of. They're secure for a while. So, but most importantly, as we all know, your kids and your family are all taken care of.
Yeah, you're a competitor, and you don't want to give in to death, the thought of death. But then you have to, because you got to think about your family and life. So it kind of goes against probably, your whole competitive mindset.
Oh, for sure. And you never want to think about that, but you got to be smart, too, and realize that reality is reality. And only one person, that's the good Lord, knows what tomorrow holds, and who knows how long I'm going to be here. But I plan on being here a lot more, because with my son's foundation, Hunter's Hope, and going through what all the families are going through and what we're doing with universal newborn screening and the difference that we are making, I have too many more things to do. Plus the Bills. I got to make sure these Buffalo Bills stay in Western New York.
Wait, are you part of an ownership, Jimmy? Are you part of an ownership group?
No, we have a minority group together, but we have to wait and see what the outcome is with the majority owners before we even think about doing anything. But
you care if Bon Jovi? Do you care if Bon Jovi or Donald Trump comes in and gets the Bills?
To be honest with you, I don't really care who it is, as long as they keep it in Buffalo. Bon Jovi is one of those guys that, true to heart, that he's going to keep it in Buffalo, New York, and not wait till the 6 years runs out and they have to take the $400 million fine, or wait another year and take the $26 million fine and move to Toronto. Well, I don't want him to have it. Yeah. But if he's a guy, and I love his music and I love the guy, but if he's thinking about moving to Toronto, no, I don't want him to have it. I think that goes without saying. I think that most people in this area, and Roger Goodell is from Western New York, and I think he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that Buffalo stays in Buffalo, and so will I. So when that time comes, we shall see, Dan.
Real quickly, I want you to tell me about my fan clip that benefits Hunter's Hope Foundation. If people can get involved, there's a website. Let them know what it's all about.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, it's something that I came up with many years ago. I was one of those guys that used a rubber band around my money clip and my credit cards, and it kept breaking. And I went to the black binder clip, and I go, what can I do to make this a lot nicer? Because I saw so many other guys using it for their money clips. So we put logos on them. We got an NFL license, Major League Baseball. We got NHL, NASCAR. Our biggest thing right now, Dan, is high school fundraisers, because so many kids and they have young kids that are doing these fundraisers all the time, and they're tired of candy bars and wrapping paper. So this is a good way. So just for anybody out there, log on to my website, jimkelly.com or myfanclip.com. Find a way that you can help your high school, your cheerleading, whatever the case may be. And it's at all Wegmans. It's at all the grocery stores around here. It's at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's at Fanatics. There's so many places you can get them. But now you can have your favorite team, whether it's the Bills or the Dolphins or the Jets or whatever the case may be, or if it's your favorite Major League Baseball team. We got them all, and it's great. It's great stocking stuffers, and it's great for potato chips. Your chip bag we use them on, our coffee bags, and of course I use them for my money clips. So it's a good way to raise money for your foundation or golf tournament, or for all kids out there, or people are looking to raise money for their high school football uniforms or cheerleading, whatever. It's a great opportunity. And a portion of proceeds go to Hunter's Hope.
Good to talk to you, Jim.
Dan, I appreciate your time, and just have everybody, we're not out of the woods yet here. Just the prayers mean so much to us, and the support. And I just want to thank everybody everywhere that have sent me well wishes. Thank you, and I appreciate the time, Dan. Have a good day.
Jim Kelly. Bills quarterback, jimkelly.com, myfanclip.com if you'd like to find out more, and it benefits Hunter's Hope Foundation.